everyone, this is Laura Hammock from the Marble Jar channel, and it's story time. So if you've watched any of my other videos, you know that I use a script or a teleprompter. I've been told that I need to work on being a little bit more natural, and so I am gonna tell you a story about my worst parenting moment, and I do have a couple of notes that I've taken, but basically I'm gonna do this without a script, so bear with me. So my absolute worst parenting moment was when I was toilet training my daughter. She's now 13, and at the time she was 2, and I had stopped working when she was born, and I worked in business, and I was a product manager, and in business things kind of follow a schedule and you can kind of control things, and it's just really different being a mom. Obviously, these are not little projects to be managed and you just have a very limited amount of control, but I still hadn't quite worked out of that mindset. So so I had that mentality, and in addition, she was going to preschool at the end of the summer, starting in September, and they required for the 2-year-olds to be potty trained in order to go to this preschool. So product manager mentality plus a deadline. I mean, you could just see this, a disaster in waiting to happen. So I had a friend of mine who told me that she had this genius book that she used for 2 of her kids already that worked like a charm, and it was called Toilet Training in Less Than One Day. I mean, I really should have just known better by the title. Plus, her kids are so different than mine. So anyway, what was I thinking? So so I got this book, and I read through it entirely, and I made notes, and to be honest, my husband was like, I'm not sure. I think you might be putting a little bit too much, weight on what this book can do. You may want to kind of set your expectations a little lower. I just completely ignored him. So it required getting some supplies. So I got all these supplies, lots of juice and some games to play. And I set us up in our kitchen, me and my 2-year-old daughter. She was like 2 years old and maybe 4 or 5 months at the time, which is way too early in my family for potty training. So the whole principle of this was that you ply them with juice, just continue to make them drink as much juice as possible, and you set up an arrangement where you've got things to do, but every minute, I can't even remember, but basically every minute you're supposed to stick them on the toilet so that they eventually get used to, oh, this sensation means that I have to go, and now I can go in the toilet, and yay, and then you give them a big celebration. Okay, so for a variety of reasons, it was just a complete disaster. I mean, I think the biggest thing was that she just wasn't ready. She didn't even understand what that sensation meant, and she couldn't translate that. I mean, she was 2 years old and 4 months. Obviously, this worked for other kids, but just she wasn't ready for it. So what inevitably happened was that she would drink all this juice, and I would put her on the toilet time after time after time after time. Nothing would happen. And then she'd be playing, and then whoosh, just like, and this was hours. So this went on for hours. And so what I realized later is that both of my kids are kind of, we call them pee camels. Like, they can just hold it forever. So she would hold it and hold it and hold it and hold it and hold it until she couldn't hold it anymore, and then whoosh. But she had no sensation that, like, this was, oh, I need to pee, so I need to do something. It just didn't happen. So, the combination of the pressure of preschool happening and the fact that I was super wound tight at this point, having not, been a parent for very long, I lost it. I ended up, like, having to leave her. I remember this. I ended up having to leave her downstairs, and I went down to the basement, and I called my husband, and I was like, you have to come home right now. He worked pretty far away, and he had to take like a metro or whatever to get back, but you have to come home right now. Like, I need to leave the house. Like, I'm afraid of, I'm like ready to snap. So So he understood the severity of the situation. He came home right away as fast as he could. I basically shut myself in a room so that I didn't do anything bad, and then left like the house for hours. I don't even remember how long I was gone for, but hours. It was not a proud moment at all. And we decided that if we had any other kids that needed toilet training, that I was not the right person to do that. And in fact, that summer, my husband potty trained her, and he did it, when she was, she basically had accidents throughout the entire year until, she was really kind of physically ready. But I just completely took myself out of the situation because I couldn't handle it. We decided if we had any other kids that I would have to pay somebody to toilet train my kid because I didn't trust myself with that. So that's it. I would love to hear other people's embarrassing parenting stories, and this is what I look like without a script. So a little bit off topic and tangential and lots of gesticulating. But you can see why maybe I use a script most of the time.